We are live. Greetings, my fellow Nigerians. My name is Dr. Edmond Ikeh. I welcome you this wonderful Tuesday. It's currently 2 p.m. US Central Time and 9 p.m. Nigerian time and 3 p.m. US Eastern Time. Welcome to the show, Nigerian Constitution and Your Right. Nigerian Constitution, Know Your Right. It's a show about powered by the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, the acronym GCSDN. So we are here to teach you the content of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. And today's topic is National Assembly Elections 2023 and the Constitution, because this show is all about the Constitution. Okay? Many Nigerians now are just having the election fever, and this election fever is all about the presidency, all about presidential election. Who is going to be the president of Nigeria? Is it Peter Obi? Is it Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Is it Abubakar Atiku? Is it Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso? Is it Omoyele Sowore? Is it Kachuku? Is it the other guy, the guy whose father was from June, Abiola, Kola Abiola, is it? And so on and so forth. That is the focus of most Nigerians. Most Nigerians are just focused on the presidential election. But the election that is coming up is not just about the presidency. It's not all about the president and the vice president. There is much more to that. So that is why I said today's show, since we are just 11 days away from the election, or the general election, let's talk about other components of the election, other key players in this election, other people that are going to be elected in this upcoming election, not just the president and vice president. The National Assembly will also be elected in this coming election, 25th of February 2023, which is just 11 days away. Why does Nigeria just focus on presidential election? Do you know that the presidency is just one branch of government, one branch of the 3 branches of government? That is what the presidency represents. So why are we so hung up on just the presidency? Please, once again, this is a show powered by the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, GCSDN. The show or the program is called Nigerian Constitution and Your Right, or Nigerian Constitution, Know Your Rights. Okay, and I'm your humble host. So as you come on, take a minute to comment in the comment section and send the link to your friends, your neighbors, people around you to join the link, to join the conversation. Please use the comment section to comment and let us have your opinion. I'll read all your comments. I'll answer your questions if you have any questions, because I'll be asking questions as well. Right? As I talk, I ask questions, and I would like to hear your responses or your answers to these questions. Okay? So interact with me. Let's enjoy this show together. We are in this together. This is our show, Nigerians. This is our show, my brothers and sisters. Okay? Do not leave me here all by myself. I'm here for you, and you're here for me. Once again, the topic is National Assembly Election 2023 and the Constitution. You know, because all we talk about is the Constitution, so that you understand the content of the Constitution, so that you understand what is required of you as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and to hold your leaders accountable. So, why are Nigerians so hung up on presidential election? And they forget about other people that are in the ballot in this election. the election is not just about the presidency. It's not just about the president and vice president. There are more people that needs to be elected. And what are these people called? What are these people called? That is the National Assembly, and that is the focus of the conversation today. The National Assembly. The National Assembly is another branch of the three branches of government. We have three branches of government in Nigeria: the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. Okay, these are the three branches of government in Nigeria. So the president and vice president and all the ministers they appoint, or the parastatals, etc. That's what makes up the executive branch of government. And that is where Nigerians always focus on the executive branch and they forget about the legislative and the judicial branch. Okay, so that is just the presidency. Then there is what we call the legislative branch of government. This legislative branch of government is what is also referred to as the National Assembly. Okay, and this National Assembly is covered. The composition of the National Assembly is covered in our Constitution, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. You can see the composition of the National Assembly from Section 47 of the Constitution to Section 50. This tells us about the constitution of the National Assembly. Okay, what is the constitution of the National Assembly? The National Assembly is constituted of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Okay, the Senate and the House of Representatives. That is what consists, or that is what make up the National Assembly. I'll take a break and read the comment, and then we'll go from there. So send your comment, ask your question. Did you know, as before now, did you know that the legislative branch of government is called the National Assembly? And did you know that the National Assembly is made up of the Senate and the House of Representatives? I want to hear your responses on what you think about the National Assembly so far. What is your experience of the National Assembly as a Nigerian so far? Right? Rita English says, greetings everyone, greetings Miss Rita English, very active in this show. Thank you for coming. Rita English once again, a happy Valentine's Day. Obidati, I'm a Val, so I guess I'm your Val since I'm an Obidati. I'm an obedient. I'm obedient and useful. So I'm your Val. I am your Val. Happy Valentine's Day, Rita English. All right, and we'll have Chini Rufina. So greetings, Dr. Edmond. Greetings, everyone. Greetings, 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 Rufina. Greetings, Rita English. Thank you, ladies, for coming to the show. Use the comment section, ask your question, or respond to what I've discussed so far. We're talking about the National Assembly election 2023. And the Constitution. And the Constitution is what tells us what is this National Assembly, who are they, and what gave them power, and all this. The Constitution is going to answer these questions. Okay? And the National Assembly election is the same day as the presidential election. Okay? National Assembly elections is the same day as the presidential election. That means the National Assembly election is 11 days away, just like the presidential election is 11 days away. Both presidential election and National Assembly's election is 25th of February 2023. Okay, so I want you to be aware of this in case you did not know. You thought that the election on 25th is just about go elect the president. No, that is not just what it's about. It's about electing the president and his running mate as the vice president, and also electing the National Assembly. Hence the purpose of this today's topic, so that you can let it sink in the head of every Nigerian that the election in 11 days is not just about electing the president. It's also about electing the members of the National Assembly. And the members of the National Assembly are the Senate and the House of Representatives. Okay, how many senators make up the Senate? How many senators make up the Senate? That is an important question that you should ask yourself, and you should be able to answer this question, okay? Because the senators are important key players in governance. The senators are important key players in governance. Without the senators, without the House of Rep members, the government is not going to be complete because the executive cannot govern the country alone. The executives need the legislators and as well as need the judiciary. We all need them as Nigerians to have a functioning government. We have them, and yet Nigeria is not very functional. It's not very functional because we don't really have great National Assembly or great presidency or great judicial system. So, but it's in our hands to change all this if we want to. Okay, so we should want to change it, and we should work towards changing it. Okay, we have 109 senators. Okay, 109 senators make up the Senate, and the Constitution in section 47 is what states that the senators shall be comprised of, the Senate shall be made up of 3 senators from each state, each of the 36 states, and 1 from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. So that makes it 109, because 3 times 36 is 108, plus 1 from the FCT Abuja, that makes it 109 109 senators. So 109 senators makes up the Senate. All right. So now the next question now is, how many House of Rep members make up the House of Representatives? How many House of Rep members make up the House of Representatives? Let me see if anyone have answered in comment section. Who have? So I have a comment here. So, well, that's from Chini Rufina. So, well, just got to know about the legislative arm of government being the National Assembly. Okay, well, good, yes. The National Assembly is the legislative branch of government, yes. And the National Assembly comprises of the Senate and the House of Representatives. And I just mentioned that the Senate is comprised of 109 senators. So 109 senators makes up the Senate, all right? And now I'm asking, how many people or how many representatives makes up the House of Representatives or the Federal House of Representatives? I intentionally mention it as the Federal House of Representatives because there is also something called the State House of Representatives. We'll talk about that later on, perhaps first week of next month, because there's another election coming up next month. People don't even know. People only focus on the presidential election or the general and forget about the presidential election. Is just about electing the president and his running mate, the vice president, and also electing the National Assembly. That's what the presidential election, what we call the presidential election, that's what it's about. We can also call it the federal election. That's another term I would say for it, the federal election, because this election is all about electing the federal government. That's what February 25th, 2023 is about, electing the federal government, okay? And which is primarily what we're electing is the executive branch and the legislative branch. The judiciary is going to be appointed later on, or however they do it. We don't really vote for judiciary in Nigeria. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I supposed to have a guest today, a legal mind, that's supposed to have answered some of this legal question that I'm not able to answer. But unfortunately, I guess it's not here today. Maybe maybe it's on Valentine's date. It's a Valentine's Day after all. The presidential election is about electing the executive branch and the legislative branch of government, okay? And that is the federal government. The state government election, the state election is next month. That's 11th of March, 2023. That's when we do the state election to elect the governors. That's the elective branch of the state government, the governor and his deputy governor, and then elect the State House of Representatives, okay? That's why I specifically mentioned Federal House of Representatives, so that I can know there's another set of House of Representatives. but they are state House of Representatives. Okay, I hope I'm making sense, guys. Hope I'm making sense. So 11 days time, we'll be electing federal government officials, right? The executive branch and the legislative branch. Once again, the legislative branch is what we call the National Assembly, which is also comprises of the Senate and the House of Representatives. The Senate is consisting of 109 senators, 3 from each of the 36 states and 1 from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Okay, and then the House of Representatives, or the Federal House of Representatives, consists of 360 House of Rep members. 360. You would think that, oh, it's 360 and we'll have 36 states, so maybe we'll have 10 from each state. No, that is not how they do that. So it's not 10 from each of the 36 states making 360. I wish it was so. That would have been helpful, but no. I think they assign the House of Representatives based on population. So that's why the North, who is acclaimed to have more population in Nigeria, it's debatable. Some people will not agree that the North have more population in Nigeria, and there is basis for that argument that the North may not have more population than the South. It's the first censor was a terrible censor, and the censor after that was a terrible censor, and the censor after that was a terrible censor. So we have not had a very good censor in Nigeria. Right now, people keep saying, oh, we are 206 million people in Nigeria. Nobody knows. We don't even know if we're up to 200 million people in Nigeria. Because the last census that was done in Nigeria was during Obasanjo time. That was in 2006. 2006, long. That was the last censor we had. And that was not a good censor. It was not widely acceptable, just like other censors before that. The first censor was done during the colonial times, and it was not acceptable. And another one before the independence was not acceptable. So we have not done a widely acceptable census. The census are always skewed in favor of the North, which the South does not believe the North have more population, because the argument is that how can a desert area have more population than where they have more water body? And if you look at human population or human migration, people migrate more to water body and away from dry land. So it's that makes it impossible for the North to have more population than the South. But this is a conversation for another day. I don't want to go deep into that. So we have not had a good census, national population census in Nigeria, and there's a proposal for a population census coming up next year and the next year. We don't know. They may change the date up and down, but a population census is coming up, and hopefully that will be a widely acceptable censor. I don't know. We cannot predict. But for historical, from historical perspective, Nigeria has not had a good population census that's widely acceptable by Nigerians. Okay, so we don't know if we are 206 million people, and so I just want to put that out there. So why I was stating this, because the House of Representatives is based on populations. And I mentioned that that will have 36 states and we'll have 360 House of Representatives. So you would think, oh, since it's 360, I'll have 36 states. 360 divided by 36, that means 10 House of Representatives per state. That would make sense, but no, that's not how it works. States that is presumably with more population have more House of Representatives, and those with presumably low population have lower number of House of Representatives. That is why the northern part of Nigeria have more House of Rep members compared to the southern part of Nigeria. It has been so since independence. It has been like that since independence. And I told you why is it like that. It is like that because the censor was skewed in favor of the North before the independence, and the censor after that was also skewed in favor of the North, and it have not been widely acceptable. Okay, so that's why I'm explaining this historical perspective to you guys. I hope that makes sense. So moving forward, If you have any question, please ask in the comment section. Once again, this is a show called Nigerian Constitution and Your Right. Nigerian Constitution, Know Your Right. It's a show powered by the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, who is a coalition that is interested in securing Nigeria and ensuring that the rule of law prevails and that our democracy in Nigeria mature and mature to the extent that Nigerians begin to reap or begin to enjoy the dividends of democracy. Okay, that is why I accepted to be the anchor of this show, because I think understanding the Constitution and allowing yourself to be empowered by the Constitution also help you to exercise your democratic rights and help you to put in your own bit of effort in building a more democratic society. That is my belief. I don't know what you believe. You can always share your opinions or you believe in the comment section. All right. So next question. I hope someone will answer in the comment section. What do you think is the difference? Because I said the National Assembly is comprises of the Senate and the House of Representatives, the Federal House of Representatives. So what is the difference between the Senate and the House of Representatives? Please, if you know the answer, just type it out in the comment section, okay? What is the difference between the Senate and the House of Representatives? What is the difference? It's an ongoing conversation, so that's why I'm throwing out this question. It's an important question to answer that we should answer, and that will help us to decipher: do we even need to have what we call a bicameral system of legislature? So we have Nigeria have bicameral, that's we have the senators, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. So instead of a unicameral parliament, just like the UK. So do you guys know that we actually had a unicameral system before we switched to a bicameral system? So because when we got our independence, we practiced the British form of government, or the English form of government, and the parliamentary system, and we will have a unicameral system of government, because that is what the UK still have, I think, the unicameral system of government, before we switched to the presidential system of government. And this presidential system of government is what created the Senate and the House of Representatives, because that is what the United States of America have. So our system of government is supposedly mirrored after the American system of presidential system of government. But are we doing it like the Americans? No, we are not. We are not. And that is Nigeria for you. We copy and paste, but when we paste it upside down. We paste it upside down, my people. So that's the dilemma we have as a people. Okay. So what is the difference between the Senate and the House of Representatives? The two bodies, or the two houses, their constitution call them houses, they are both houses, or they call them chambers, so you can call them houses or chambers. So there are two chambers. So these two chambers, or these two houses, makes up the National Assembly. So then what is the difference? They are both component of the National Assembly. They are both constituents of the National Assembly. What is the difference between them? Apart from the number, that the Senate has 109 members, while the Federal House of Assembly has 360 members. Apart from this population difference, what else is the difference between them? Okay. Well, similarities, they are both law-making bodies of the country. The Senate and the Federal House of Representatives are the two law-making bodies that have been empowered by our Constitution in Section 47, Section 48, and Section 50 as the law-making bodies of our country. So if you have a time, go to those three sections, and the whole chapter chapter 5 of our constitution deals with the legislative branch of government. So the whole chapter 5, if you want to know everything about the legislative branch of government in Nigeria, read the whole chapter 5 of the constitution. But out of that chapter 5, we're just looking at section 47, 48, and 40 and 50. 47, 48, 49, and 50. So those are the four sections we're looking at today in today's conversation. All right. So I'm not reading them in this broadcast. I want to keep this broadcast 30 minutes. So that's why I'm not going to read those sections. But those are the sections that this information you hear me dissecting come from this four section. Section 47, Section 48, Section 49, and Section 50 of our Constitution. Right? That is where you can find this information in case you want to go and read it for yourself. All right. So let me go ahead and answer the question again. The question, I'm looking for comment. Nobody's commenting. I want to add, you guys don't know this information. Okay. You want me to be the the lecturer today. All right. The difference between the Senate, and I'm keeping it basic. This is very basic. I'm not trying to be a law professor here. I'm just trying to put a basic information for my fellow Nigeria, for ordinary citizens, to understand this little differences that they may have not known before, they have not even cared before. Just like my dear Chini Rufina stated in the comment section that she did not even know that the National Assembly is the legislative branch of government. Yes, but that is what it is. The National Assembly is the legislative branch of government. So just this little information I want to pass on so that we should actually know this, that we have a legislative branch of government, and these are the people that make up the legislative branch of government. They have a role, they have a duty, they have a responsibility to us as Nigerians. So we have to understand this. If we understand that these people have a responsibility to us, then we'll have to hold them accountable to ensure they uphold this responsibility. They dish out their role, they perform their role as prescribed by the Constitution effectively and efficiently. And if they do not do this, they will make sure we exercise our own right. We have our own rights that has been given to us, but in our Constitution as well. Okay, Chapter 1, Chapter 4, we have those rights. So we exercise our rights and vote them out, and vote in better people. And we'll have the opportunity in 11 days. That is why we're having this conversation today. National Assembly election 2023 and the Constitution. This is what the Constitution is saying about them. Constitution created them, and Constitution tell us this is what they're supposed to do. Okay, if this is what they're supposed to do, are they doing it? Are they doing it? If they're not doing it, then we should get in the right people that are going to do what the Constitution said they should do. Okay? Because we have our powers, we should exercise this power as well. Right? The legislative branch of government, National Assembly, is what's comprised of the legislative branch of government, and this National Assembly is the Senate and the House of Representatives. The Senate, what is the difference between these two houses? The Senate, it's, if you read section 48 specifically, section 47 and 48, 49, these three sections, it's going to tell you the hierarchy or the protocol they need to follow. This protocol tells you which one is more superior than the other. But if you ask the House of Representatives, they'll say, no, we are not, there's no one superior than the other. We are both different houses or chambers making laws. No, the Constitution make it clear. The Senate is superior than the House of Representatives. In the land, if you go and argue it, it's simple English. The Constitution in section 47, 48, 49 clearly state that the Senate President shall be the head of the Senate, and the second in command will be the Deputy President of the Senate. Then it also made us know that the House of Representatives, the head shall be the Speaker of the House, and the second in command shall be the Deputy Speaker of the House. Okay, so and the Constitution make allowance that at some point these two chambers or these two houses shall have joint sessions, and when they do joint sessions, the head of this joint session is the Senate President. So if the Senate President is the head of both when both of them are joined together, and the Senate President is the head, I beg, please who then is the superior house? The Senate is the superior house. Okay, so that's another difference. The difference is that the Senate is the upper house. If you want to say upper house, lower house, because a bicameral system of government can be described by houses, by the upper house and the lower house. Okay, just like in the U.S. as well, we have the senators and the representative, or who they call Congress. If you listen to U.S. news about politics, oh, congressman, congresswoman. So the congressman, congresswoman terminology is usually used to describe the representative, the U.S. Federal representatives. Okay, and then the senators, they use to describe the U.S. Senate. But really, both of them are all Congress. Both the senators and the House of Representatives, just like they are both Congress. But just to distinguish them, they just call the representative as Congress, the congressman, congresswoman, while they call the Senate members as senators. But really, they are all congressmen, congresswomen, constitutionally speaking. Okay, so this and then the U.S. clearly clarified that the Senate is the upper house, while the House of Representatives is the lower house. So if we are copying American system, the same thing happens here too. That means the Federal House of Representatives in Nigeria should be the lower house, while the Senate in Nigeria should be the upper house. Clear cut, same as the American system. So why there's no point of the House of Rep members saying, oh, there's no superiority, that they are at equal lawmaking body. They're not equal lawmaking body. The Senate is higher than the House of Representatives, period. And the Constitution make it clear in section 47, 48, and 49 when it's giving the protocol, the hierarchy of who leads what. When they have a joint session, the head of that joint session should be the Senate president. And if the Senate president is not available, then it will be the deputy Senate president. If the deputy Senate president is not available, then it will be the Speaker of the House. If the Speaker of the House is not available, then it's going to be the deputy Speaker of the House. So that is it. So that distinguishes them. That's one of the distinguishing factors. But they are all lawmaking bodies of the Federation. I think that is where I want to keep end today. I want you to remember that this election is not just about the presidency. It's not just about going to elect the president of the Federation or his running mate or the vice president. No, it's about electing the president, the vice president, and also electing the House of Representatives and senators, that is the National Assembly. So if you go there, and if you have not been doing your homework, trying to see who are the senators that's running in your areas, so that you can select the right senator. Because excuse me, for instance, I'm from Anambra State, so that means 3 senators will be running in Anambra State, and so because each state have 3 senators, and if you are from Lagos, that means also 3 senators are running from Lagos. So who are the senators that's running from your state? Look at them and look at who you're going to elect in that position, who have the record, who have performed, who have better history, who have not been indicted or have been convicted of corruption and all that. You have to pay attention to this. If you have not paid attention to it for the past few months, then you have 11 days to pay attention. You have 11 days to do your research so that you can vote the right senators for your senatorial district or your senatorial zone. Because every Nigeria have their own senatorial zone. Me, I'm from Anambra South senatorial zone in my state, so I know who is running for my senator. I know them, and I know who I would vote if I was in Nigeria and I was going to vote. I know who I would vote. I've done my assignment. I've done my homework, and that is what every Nigerian is supposed to be doing. Supposed to pay attention to these things. By now, it's supposed to know what senatorial zone do you belong to in your state, and who is the senators? Who are the people running for those senatorial seats in that senatorial zone? You're supposed to know this by now. And then House of Representatives, who is the House of Rep member representing your constituency? Because House of Representatives represent a given constituency in your state. Because Some state may have just 5 House of Rep members. Some state may have 8. Some state may have 10. Some state may have 12. Some may have 14, 15, because if you are in the north, you have states that have more House of Rep members, because as I've described it, I've explained it earlier. So know who is running for the seat of the Federal House of Representatives for your constituency, and then look at their record and then vote them. Okay, you're supposed to be doing that. If you have not done that since past 6 months, since that when they did the primaries and all that in summer last year, then you have 11 days to get that done, so that you can make sure you elect the right president, the right senator, and the right House of Rep member come February 25, 2023, okay? And next month we shall talk about state election, which is coming up 11th March 2023. Any more comment? No more comment. All right, so let's do a little education, then we'll end the show. Education. Okay. This is example of a ballot box. This does not have, see, those are the parties, the logo. So according to, from what I'm hearing, INEC is just gonna have the logo of the party and the initial of the party, okay? So you should know the initials of your party. If you are supporting Labour Party for presidency, just like me, then the party logo is Mama Papa Pekin, as the way what the woman thumb printed. That's the logo of Labour Party, and the initial is LP. So LP is Labour Party, and APM is another party on top. Then you have PDP, you have APC, you have YPP. So you have all different parties' initials. So know what the initials stand for, what party have those initials, and what party have what logo. For me, I'm Labour Party at the presidential level. At other levels, I have different candidates that have nothing to do with Labour Party, because Labour Party does not have a candidate in all available seats. Okay, that is the failure of Labour Party. But for presidential level, they have the best candidate, which is Peter Gregory, and that is where those ladies are thumb printing. So pay attention to that. And how do you thumb print? This is how you thumb print. You thumb print with your thumb, either with your thumb or with your index finger, and you make sure it's within the box. Make sure it's within the box, not outside the box. You see the thumb print or the print with the index finger that's touching the line of the box is invalid vote. So when it's within the box, it's valid vote. Outside the box, invalid vote. Okay, so pay attention to that, and so that you don't lose your vote, so that your vote can be counted quite correctly. And this is where I leave you. I hope to see you next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Nigerian time, 2 p.m. US Central Time, and 3 p.m. US Eastern Time. Thank you once again for joining us. Thank you, Rita English. Thank you, Chini Rufina, for participating and commenting. I hope we bring more people next week. See ya. Happy Valentine's Day.